Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today as part of our 2020 Virtual New Student Orientation Experience. We are glad that you have joined us for today for this exciting conversation. My name is Denise Manjarrez, and I'm the Director of New Student Orientation. Today, we have representatives from different offices and student groups joining us and talking about what you can expect this fall semester. Today, you will hear from Campus Life, Student Government Association, Study Abroad, and other student organizations. Just a couple of housekeeping items. Please use the chat feature on the right-hand side of your screen or the Q&A feature at the bottom to ask us questions. We want the session to be as interactive as possible, so please ask us questions and we'll get to those as best as we can. So now I would like to introduce to you Dave Goodwill, who will speak on Campus Life, and also introduce different students representatives to speak on what you can expect this fall semester.
Welcome, everyone. Here today to talk to you a little bit about what Campus Life has to offer here at Edinboro University. We have a number of different activities that you can take part in on a daily basis. One thing to note, this fall is going to look a little different, and we're not 100% sure yet with some of our activities how we're going to navigate those. More correspondence will come out as we kind of identify different things that we need to put in place for safety features. But I just want to take a few minutes and kind of go down through some of the different options that we have. We have a very extensive recreation program, including a fitness center, outdoor adventure program, club sports, and a number of different other features. We're involved in clubs and organizations. Currently, there are right around 100 clubs and organizations active on campus, and so there's a little bit of something for everybody. I'm going to share my screen now and just kind of show you guys some pictures of some of the different things that we have going on. And so, can you see my screen? Yep, okay. Real quick, our core is our campus outdoor recreational experience. We do a lot of outdoor adventure trips. We have a lot of different things going on, stuff from skydiving, whitewater rafting, canoeing, paintball. We've done things like snow tubing, ice climbing. This past year, we actually did a week-long trip to Arizona to the Grand Canyon. So there's just a lot of different activities with our outdoor adventure program that people can take part in. We do equipment rentals. We do have a climbing gym, although we're not sure what the fall is going to look like for the climbing gym, but we will try to have climbing trips and things like that available for students. We do have a ropes course, high and low ropes course, which is team building, challenging one another, getting groups and getting people together, coming up and working on different skills that you might want to work through as a team, and things like that. We do also offer intramural sports program. Why intramural sports? It's a great way to become involved on campus and escape from stress of the academic life. And just leadership opportunities, there's employment opportunities, you name it, those are reasons why to participate in intramurals. The one thing is that this fall, intramurals will look different once again. We're working now to figure out how we can integrate those into the system and still use the social distancing guides that we need to have in place. These are just some of the different sports that we've offered throughout the year. Some of the tournaments that we offer, such as the 3-on-3 basketball, wiffle ball, kickball, billiards, Madden, badminton, like I said, you name it, we pretty much have offered it. Kind of going along with that, the way that you will sign up for IM leagues or sign up for intramurals and how you will really learn to navigate as a student here at Edinboro is through your My Edinboro portal. If you haven't learned about this yet, there will be opportunities to kind of learn all the different icons associated with IM leagues or with the portal, excuse me. And your portal will look a little different. This picture is old from a previous what the icons used to look like, but they still function the same way. So you would just click on the IM Leagues logo, and that's how you would go in and sign up for any of your intramurals that you would want to participate in. One thing to note also is that this is also the location where, when Nick Helfer talks a little bit about student government and clubs and organizations, this is the location where you would go to find Engage, to get on and see what clubs and organizations there are to offer. As far as sport clubs, we do have 14 current sport clubs on campus. Everything from ultimate frisbee, equestrian, disc golf, triathlon, shooting sports, ice hockey. We have all these sports. Some of them we're not still certain what the fall is going to look like, but the hope is that clubs can still be active in the fall semester and then ramp up if they can't participate in competitions for a full-on spring semester. Kind of one of the, going along with sport clubs and just being involved with those, some of the things that we like to mention is that it's easy to start a club. Actually, Nick can talk to you a little bit about that. As a freshman, Nick started a club and was very involved. And so I think just he can kind of give you some insight as to how easy it is. But there are steps in place that we will work with you to start any club that you might want to see that is not currently on campus. We do have a full-on fitness center that offers cardio, strength training, fitness classes, you name it. Once again, we offer that. Our fitness center will be open pretty much as normal through the fall semester. There will be social distancing guidelines that will be put in place to ensure that we can keep people as safe as possible. And sometime throughout the fall semester will be the introduction of our new functional fitness room that has been, it's all set to go in. We're just kind of waiting on things to open back up for us to be able to finish the project. And I'm very excited about that opportunity. Some other things just to think about, we have a disc golf course. So once again, a great way to go out, stay active and social distance. The front 9 and the back 9, we have basically an 18-hole course, but it's separated into 2 9-hole sections. The Lowlands, as we call them, is located around Mallory Lake, which is right out the back of the Polk Student Center. And the Highlands is in another section of campus, which is about a quarter-mile walk around our cross-country course. Some of the other things, so this is kind of the way, if you want to find out anything in our campus recreation department or a lot of different things going on campus, this is how you can find this out. It's just by going and following us on any of our social media at Borough Campus Rec. Along with these opportunities, I do want to take a moment and kind of talk a little bit about some other opportunities that we have with our University Programming Board and campus-wide events that go on throughout the year. The University Programming Board puts on pretty much weekly events, everything from movies, bus trips, painting, learning how to paint and doing things like that, trivia, bingo nights. Like I said, you name it, Unicorn Day, we have put it on and we create things for people to do. There will be a short survey going out here in the very near future for students to give us ideas on events for the fall so that we can try to integrate more virtual events along with how we can, ideas on ways that we can put in-person events with social distancing guidelines. So we're looking for student feedback on how we can do all of those different types of things. Kind of going along with that is there's also, as I mentioned before, employment opportunities. We have in the campus life department, roughly 60 students that work as part of the Polk Student Center staff, the recreation staff, the University Programming Board, and some other various positions. So if you are still interested in student employment, there are still some positions open for this fall. And I would encourage you to apply. The way that you would apply is by going to that same icon, so your My Edinboro portal, and you'll see a little student employment tab listed there as to how to apply. So you just simply click on that icon, search in both sometimes jobs are listed both in the spring and fall semesters, search there, and then apply for those jobs, and then people will reach out to you. Like I mentioned before, we do have some positions that will still be open, that we will still be hiring for into the fall semester. I'm going to kind of let Ashley and Corey talk about Greek life. And the last thing I want to kind of end with is just a little bit about our National Society of Leadership and Success. We do have a program here on campus that is a nationally recognized program students can take part in. It's a leadership program, and we are looking to enhance that opportunity. So every student that is a freshman and through junior will get an invite to this as long as you meet a specific GPA requirement. So just be checking your email through the fall semester so that you can take part in that program if you would be interested. I'm going to kind of turn it over now to Nick Helfer to talk to you about student government and clubs and organizations.
Hey everyone. Hey, before I take over, Dave, there was a question earlier about when to sign up for clubs. I answered back in the Q&A that usually in the first week we have a club rush, but do you have any more information on that, if it's changed this year?
Not at this time. A club rush, we will have a club rush, whether it is a virtual component or an in-person component. But please be on the lookout for more information as we get closer to the start of school and as we know all of the guidelines that we need to adhere to make those events happen.
And then there's another question that popped up from George saying, I am a certified lifeguard and I would like to lifeguard during the fall semester, but when can I sign up for the job? There is no link to sign up for the position. Do you know anything about that?
If you can reach out to me, if you reach out to the Borough Campus Rec email, we can send you and get you connected to applying for that job.
All right, cool. I'll take over then. Hello, Nick Helfer. I'm a senior this year. I'm the president of the student government, and I'm going to show you guys all about that. So good stuff. I want to apologize first for the sound. There's a little bit of sound. I'm outside. I had to move outside, but hopefully you guys can still hear me and see my face. So cool. So we're going to get started. I'll share my screen. All right. So EUSGA and campus involvement. There's definitely a lot to do on campus, but before I dive in, let me talk a little bit about myself. The reason I want to do this is I was once you, so all of the upperclassmen, we were once where you are. You know, I came out of high school, I graduated from Knox High School in Butler, Pennsylvania, and I always wanted to come to school to be a geologist, and so that's what I'm pursuing here at Edinboro University as my major, getting a minor in geographic information systems, and as I said earlier, this is my last year at Edinboro. I'm a senior, so I've been around the loop for a little bit. My campus involvement, you know, I should put this on here to show you guys that there's an endless supply of things that you guys can get involved in. Currently, I'm the USGA president, the Edinboro University Student Government Association president. I used to be the IFC president. I'm involved with one of my fraternities. I started the wrestling club. I can talk a little bit more about that later. I was on the equestrian team, Chi Alpha, a bunch of others. There's a bunch of stuff you can do, and you don't have to choose just one. So my time at Edinboro has been fulfilling, that's for sure. It taught me a lot. So a little bit more about student government, just to talk to you guys about it, give you the purpose of it. It's to advocate for the student body and to assure proper use of the student activity fee, which you pay, and foster the development of professional leadership. So the student activity fee is a small fee that you pay that helps kind of like run the clubs and organizations on campus. A lot of your programming on campus comes from that student activity fee. And we're going to try to do as much programming as we can with the circumstances that we are under right now. The student government has an office. Like if you're ever trying to get involved with clubs or organizations, don't know where to go, our office is up on the second floor of the student center to the left of the stairs. And then a little bit more about it, like how the structure is. The student government consists of 6 e-board members, which make it run. And then there's congressmen, which are made up of the students, so you guys, representatives of the clubs and organizations on campus, to better get an understanding. We try to set it up like our democracy government goes and try to get a word from the students saying, hey, what do you guys think about these issues? Where should we be spending our money? How can we improve the campus? Those kind of things. So we try to include the students in a lot of decisions. So it's really important to get involved with student government. The student government has a big influence on how the campus operates from the student level up to the executive and administration level. Moving on, so Engage. Engage is something that you'll become very familiar with if you get involved with clubs and organizations especially. It's on the portal here, and I'll show you here in a little bit. This is a website or a program that is run by the student government. We pay for this service so that clubs and organizations can have a finance tab and they can keep track of their finances. They can create rosters, so everybody who joins their organization. And there's also forms and applications. So if they wanted to travel somewhere, the student government has 6 cars, 6 vehicles, where we allow those students to fill out a form or an application and then take those cars to wherever they need to go for certain purposes. So I'll say that there's those forms and applications. There is like a process. You have to like be legitimate about your trip, not to just go random fun somewhere. But it's definitely a good time. There's some things coming in the fall where there's going to be some restrictions on the cars as far as travel goes, but that'll be talked about later. And then Quark, there's an online app, kind of the event calendar and event location, but we're working that up. So let me show you Engage right now. So if you guys haven't been to your Edinboro portal, definitely go. You're going to be on it a lot, and you're going to have to learn a lot of these apps and applications. Engage is under the communications tab in the yellow. I have it pulled up, so I'm just going to go to it. And so this is what you'll see when you open it up. These are the first thing you'll start to see when you scroll down are the clubs and organizations that you're a part of. I should not be a part of Alpha Sigma Alpha, but I don't know how that happened. That's a sorority. So, but there's other events and calendars, latest news. So there's a lot of things. Anything that goes on in campus for the Campus Life tab will be in Engage here. If you have questions about clubs or organizations that are on campus, you can go to this Organizations tab here at the top. Hopefully it'll load on you. There you go. And so you can just start scrolling down from the Academic Success Center, the African Student Association, you know, the whole way down. There's 166. Not all of them are clubs and organizations. Some of them are for other reasons, but there's over 100 clubs and organizations to choose from. If you have a question, you know, maybe you're into physics and you want to join the physics club, there's a physics and astronomy and a couple other clubs that are related to that kind of club if you would be interested in that. So clubs and organizations, Mr. Goodwill did a really good job at covering those bases. So I'll just go over really quickly. You know, there's over 100 to choose from. I consider the big 4, the student government, the university programming board, Borough Campus Rec, and Greek Life. These big 4 organizations are doing most of your programming on campus, creating most of your activities, things to do on campus. So, you know, I consider those the big 4, and they do a lot, create a lot for us to do on campus. Sports clubs, the wrestling club, that is something I created in 2016 when I came to Edinboro University. I was really big into wrestling at the time, and so I expected to join something, definitely not D1 material. So I wanted to create a club or something so I can keep going, and Dave helped me do that. So it wasn't too hard, but you know, the student government at the time was a little disorganized, so I think that was the only thing that made it hard. But other than that, there are wonderful people like Mr. Goodwill who will help you through those. So if there's a club and organization here or that's not here that you would like to create, definitely, you know, speak up, say something. You know, new clubs are created all the time. There was a student last year who wanted to create a fashion club, and he didn't know where to go. So he came to me, and I talked to him a little bit about that. And he started to get that going. But, you know, there's a bunch of sport clubs, and then there's even more clubs and organizations. The Speech and Hearing Club, Geology Club, pretty much anything you can think of for any of the classes that you would get involved in. There's probably a club for it. So, and if not, you can create one. So with that, I'm going to end my presentation. I hope that was informational enough for you. If you have any other questions, post in the Q&A, and I'll try to get to them as we continue on here. So I'll stop sharing.
And just one point of clarification, George, I actually looked into why the job wasn't posted. When you go into the student employment tab, I know that there's a lifeguard tab for employment, but you actually need to go to jobs and then go under the campus life /activities, and then you'll see the rec lifeguard position. So it is there under the fall. It's just not in the lifeguard section. It's under the campus life and all of the jobs with our area.
Dave, there was a question about the student activity fee and how much that was. Are you aware of it, or?
I was just about to answer the text, but I'll just answer it here. The student activity fee is usually $225 per student, but this year it's been dropped down to $210. We're only going to school for 15 weeks. That might throw some of you off, so I will say that we are looking at ways to do programming, and if we can't do programming, we'll find a way to make it up to you guys about that.
Thank you. And I wanted to see if Ashley or Corey wanted to go next, or?
Yeah, we can go next. Corey, if you want to introduce yourself, will I share my screen and then I will?
So I'm Corey Becker. I'm the president of the Interfraternal Council, which is a governing body of all the fraternities on campus. And I'm a senior right now, a computer animation major and a computer science minor.
I am Ashley. I am the National Panhellenic Conference president. We call it PanHell for short. It's basically like the organization that oversees sorority life, and then together with IFC, we oversee Greek life as a whole. I'm going to be a senior this year, and my major is marketing and personal financial planning. So Corey, if you want to go ahead and start.
Yeah. So can you go to the next slide?
Yep.
So for the benefits of joining Greek life, a big one is a home away from home, as it says there. It's a group of people that support you and help you in any way possible, and that always have your back. They also have, most organizations have some sort of wellness support thing, to have like mental health assistance, because college is stressful, and any support you can get is helpful. And you can have study partners. Somebody in your organization has probably had classes that you have had, and they can help you with those classes if you're struggling, help you study, help you pick out your schedule for professors that they liked and things like that. Every organization has a different philanthropy that they partner with. Some of them are listed there, but each organization raises money and does different events each year to help to raise money for the philanthropy. So they, give back to the community and to society and stuff. And then also we do community service projects, which are similar to philanthropy, but it's donating your time. So things like volunteering at the local food bank or cleaning up a street. I know some of the organizations here have a street that they is dedicated to them, that they clean up continually, keep clean. And also things like paint certain community places to make them more, enjoyable, look better. Can you go to the next slide? So the history of Greek life: the first fraternity was founded in 1776, and the first sorority was founded in 1874. On Edinboro campus, though, the first organization was founded in 1925. It's one of the largest organizations on the campus. We have over 200 members. There are 9 organizations. There are 4 fraternities and 5 sororities. And then career development, it gives you a lot of things that you can put on your resume. There are different executive positions. Every organization has like an executive board and different chair positions. The obvious ones are like president and vice president, but there are also things for fraternity and sorority education, philanthropy, community service, things like that. So you'll be in charge of those sorts of things, which give you lots of opportunities. Then there are different national leadership national leadership like events that you can go to that are in different places. You can see the travel opportunities there in lots of different states, depending on what your organization is and where they're located. But you can go there and meet people from all over the country with that are in different chapters at different schools. You also get some soft skills for your resume, things like teamwork and integrity and communication.
All right, so I'll just talk a little bit about our academic programs. So for the GPA requirements, if you're an incoming freshman, your GPA has to be at least a 3.0 to join. Second semester freshman and above, your GPA only has to be a 2.5. So I think actually all of our organizations have steady hours. The amount of steady hours that you have is dependent on your GPA. So what that kind of looks like is your organization will have like an academic chair, and they'll go through everyone's GPA and assign you the steady hours. And then for my organization, at least, we have to complete those in the library. So we'll just log on. We just keep a log of our hours so that they know that we did them. There's also opportunities for mentorship just by collaborating with upperclassmen who are in like the same major as you, whether that's in your organization or just in Greek life as a whole. And again, that's similar with like the networking in majors, utilizing resources shared from members within the same majors. So I know in the spring semester, we were trying to put together some opportunities for people to network like all throughout Greek life that were in the same majors. So we'll probably pick up on that this year as well. Social aspects. To the right, there's just a bunch of pictures from events that our members have participated in. We promote Greek unity, which means all of the Greek organizations coming together. So to promote that, we do Greek Week in the spring. Unfortunately, last spring it was canceled. Hopefully we'll be able to do it this year, or I'm sure we'll have some type of variation. A few other social events that we have are Greek God and Goddess, which is like almost like a talent thing with trivia. They get judged, and then two organizations are named the winner. And then we have Greek awards. We have homecoming. For homecoming, we do floats for the parade. We have mixers. We have formals. The Mikado crew tailgate, I know we participated in last year, and a lot of other opportunities. So for post-grad benefits, networking is definitely a big one. Not only can you network with like your advisors, any like national office members that you're talking to, but you can also network with nationwide alumni. So that means like any alumni, they could be like in different states. We have alumni chapters that you can join, alumni associations, and then also most organizations probably all have resources that you can continue to use even after you graduate for networking and for your career. And that's the end. I know that there was a question I had answered earlier. They were asking how you join a fraternity. So we have recruitment. Usually it's in the fall. Right now we're not quite sure how that's going to look like. But it's different for sororities and fraternities. So for sororities, we have formal recruitment usually in the fall, where you kind of like go around to each organization and get to talk to all of them and figure out who you best fit with. But Corey would be better to speak about recruitment for fraternities.
Yeah, for fraternities, it's less formal. So the way it works is every organization, they hold recruitment events, and they'll advertise these on campus, usually through like flyers, and a lot of times they'll hand out flyers on campus. And then people go to their events, or you can go to their events and find out about them, and then you can be invited to join. Yeah, just look out for flyers advertising different Greek events.
And I want to stress that like usually for sororities, our formal recruitment is in the fall. Right now, we're not quite sure how it's going to look like, if it's going to end up being in the fall, or if we're going to do some like informal recruitment in the fall and then formal in the spring. So just keep an eye out if you're interested in your emails or on campus. You'll definitely find out once we also know what we're doing. And if there aren't any more questions, I think that's it for us.
And just to kind of follow up with that, once again, as we get more information about what Club Rush will look like, what welcome weekend activities will look like, when Club Rush will be, whether it'll be virtual, in person, we can pass all that information along. And that will also include information about how formal recruitment will look like and how recruitment will just look like across the board for all fraternities and sororities.
Thank you. Next, we will hear from Katie Spangenberg from Study Abroad.
Hello, my name is Katie Spangenberg. I work in the Global Education Office here at Edinboro. So in our office, we focus on two things. The first is international students. So we have international students from all over the globe come study at Edinboro. They're not like your typical exchange student in high school, or maybe they're here for one semester or an entire year. They do come to study to earn their degree, usually for the full 4 years. So one great way to get some global engagement without actually ever leaving campus is to interact with our international student population. They might be in a class, they might be a roommate, they might be in a sorority or a fraternity or a club and an organization. And it's a great way to interact and learn about different cultures without ever having to leave campus. But the main thing I'm going to focus on today is study abroad. So at Edinboro, we focus mainly on short-term faculty-led group travel. So this is where you and your peers go abroad for 1 to 4 weeks. It's with at least one faculty member, maybe more, dependent on the size of the group. And it is during winter, spring, or summer break. So you're never missing any classes to go abroad, and you actually have the opportunity to earn at least 3 credits with the program that you're going on. We actually do offer longer term experiences too. So if you're interested in doing a semester or a year or an internship, we do work with students on an individual basis for longer term experiences. So to talk a little bit about her experience, I have with me Lexi Jansons. She is our student worker in the office, and she actually had the opportunity to go abroad to Spain, France, and Italy in May of 2019. Ashley, who just talked about sororities, was also on that program. So we have a lot of our engaged students go on study abroad programs. So while Lexi's talking about her program, I'm gonna show a video in the background. It's just pictures from the Spain, France, and Italy program. So Lexi, you can go ahead.
Thank you, Katie. Like Katie said, my name is Lexi. I'm a student worker for the Global Education Office, and I had the incredible opportunity to take a short-term program to Spain, France, and Italy last May. Growing up, I knew I wanted to travel. I knew I wanted to see the things that I've only ever seen in textbooks or online. But coming from a small town, I was unsure how achievable that would be. So when I arrived at Edinboro University and I saw the Global Education Office, I immediately made a meeting and was able to sit down with the staff and just talk about my options. We kind of decided right then and there that the short-term program would be the best fit for me since I had never left the country before. So after the discussion, I kind of just made the decision to go for it, and I signed up for the trip. And the months leading up to departure were filled with excitement and nervousness. And I remember getting to the airport and like looking at all these strangers, knowing I'm about to get on a plane with them, go overseas. It was nerve-wracking, but I'm grateful every day that I did it. Something funny about these trips that you might not think is that sometimes it's not the big locations, not the huge cities that stand out the most. And don't get me wrong, they're amazing to see and they're beautiful. But just an example of this is our group stop in Monaco. Monaco is a tiny country. It's known to us mainly for the casinos. It was supposed to be just a regularly scheduled day trip. And when we got there, unbeknownst to our group, unbeknownst to our tour guide, it was actually the beginning of the Formula One Grand Prix race. So it was super chaotic, so much fun. You could just hear the sheer power of these cars throughout the entire city. Some of us got to see them, and honestly, it was just an amazing experience. Another example of this is actually our stop in Cinque Terre. I didn't know much about Cinque Terre. I didn't really have expectations for it. I never really learned about it, but it was the most breathtaking thing I have ever seen in my life. It was straight out of a postcard. It was so beautiful. It's just these towns on this cliff next to the seaside, and it was just amazing. So now that I've been back for a year, I've had a lot of time to reflect on my program and how my program affected me. And right off the bat, I can say that I have this huge passion for travel. In fact, I'm already signed up for our Japan program for May of 2021. Secondly, I have this newfound appreciation for international cultures, or just cultures that are unlike my own. And it's so amazing to like immerse yourself in them and educate yourself about them. And lastly is my confidence. My confidence has grown exponentially since this trip. And I remember before being scared to do things like go to a job interview. But returning, you know, you just got to tell yourself, I went on a plane with 20 strangers. A job interview is nothing. So I hope what you take away from my experience is that it doesn't matter who you are or where you're from or what any inhibitions you might have. If you have the slightest inclination to travel, talk to us, get in touch with our staff, talk to your friends who may have gone on a trip, because I'm telling you, it is life-changing. So thank you.
Thanks, Lexi. So if you're interested in studying abroad, like everyone's been mentioning, the My Edinboro portal is where you're going to learn more. So mine looks a little bit different because I'm a staff member, but everyone has this study abroad icon on their My Edinboro portal. So if you go ahead and click that, it's going to take you to our study abroad page. There's information about financial aid, what to pack, but there's also a section under our hashtag Boro Travel that we use for social media, and it's short-term programs. So if you were to click on that and take a look, you'll see all of our upcoming programs for the next few years. So this is our listing for our current 2021 programs, and then we're going to start adding our 2022s as they become available. Each of our programs have a program website that includes the amount of the program cost, what's included, the itinerary, the faculty member, and the courses that's associated with it, as well as a contact form. So if you look at the program and you're interested and you have any questions, you can fill out that form, and the email will go to our office as well as the lead faculty member of the program. That's all that we have about study abroad. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the Q&A.
Thank you. So again, please, if you have any remaining questions, please ask those. We'll be taking them. But I just kind of wanted to go around and see if all of our panelists wanted to share last comments, and then about what students can expect in the fall, or what they would want a student starting in the fall to know about Edinboro. So why don't we start with Dave?
Yeah, so real quick, I just want to answer one more question that was in the Q&A about continuing their involvement with a national organization that they were part of in high school. Once again, Nick did respond in the chat, but just to reiterate, a student can start any club or organization that they would like to on campus. Just come to either the student government office or the campus life office, and we would be happy to kind of move you in that right direction to get that club started. My last, the thing just to leave you with is I know that the fall is going to look different. You know, the new normal is among us, and hopefully we'll get through this all together. But just remember, get involved with something. I know it's going to be challenging for some clubs and organizations to engage with students as effectively as they would in a normal situation, but just take that chance, get out there, get involved with something, explore the study abroad options, you know, anything to get involved and just to be engaged on campus. And the last thing just to leave you with is, especially for anyone interested in a sorority, just know, and I know mom and dad would probably like to hear this, that most of our sorority GPAs are higher than the non the all-female GPA on campus. So our sorority GPAs are up there with that of female student athletes, which are amongst the highest on campus. So just something to leave you with, a point of reference. Yeah, go Borough. We look to see you all on campus this fall.
Ashley, do you want to share your last comments or anything?
Yeah, so I'll definitely reiterate what Dave said. It's probably going to be very strange in the fall. None of us really know like how events will look or what's going to go on with that. So I think now it's probably more important than ever to definitely try to get involved. Just find what you like to do. If there's no club or organization that you feel like you want to do, start your own. Obviously I say join Greek life, but that's not for everybody. So maybe like get involved with rec sports, a different club, just anything like that. And I would say kind of be patient too, especially because none of us really know what it's going to look like right now. So definitely don't get frustrated. Just try to keep a positive outlook. That's all I have.
That's great. Corey, do you have anything to share?
Yeah, as Dave and Ashley said, definitely get involved. One thing, basically every major on campus has a club. I would definitely join whatever club your major is. It's just helpful career-wise. It's good networking opportunities. They'll tell you about stuff related to your career. So make sure to do that along with the clubs that you, other clubs you want to join.
Thank you. Nick, would you like to share any lasting comments?
Sure. Ditto on what the previous three said. Definitely get involved. But you know, it's for a bigger reason too. You know, you're here for education. You're here to learn at Edinboro University, at any school you go to. I'm going to tell you from personal experience, I think I learned just as much from all the organizations that I've taken part in as I have from my own major. You know, leadership development skills, anything from personal interactions. So freshman year, I guess a good example is that like I used to be kind of shy giving presentations, but then with all the leadership experience or the other organization experience that I had, you know, giving presentations in front of a class or in front of a business group, nothing to me anymore. You know, I've just done it so many times where it's kind of like second nature at this point. So that's just one example of, you know, the many traits that you can pick up from just getting involved on campus. Also, you know, personal relations, you know, you make a lot of personal relations in Greek life. I'm also in a fraternity. But you also do that with any club or organization that you take part in. And those relations help you further in life. For the geology club, you know, I'm a geology major. I've made friends in the geology club that I now communicate with and talk to, you know, in the market, like, hey, what kind of jobs are out here in this area? Sometimes they even come back to school or class to give presentations on what they're doing. So it's good to stay in contact with people, make friends, get involved, all that good stuff. So definitely. Thank you.
Thank you. Katie, before you say your last comments, I know we have a couple of questions about study abroad. One of them is, are there opportunities to meet within the Edinboro students before you all fly out to your program?
Yeah, so Lexi mentioned, you know, getting on the plane with strangers and everything. What's nice about our programs is some of them are very major specific. Like we have a London program that's healthcare in London. That's really focused for our nursing majors. They're going to be in London going to hospitals. So they might already know students. The Spain, France, and Italy program, the faculty members in the communications department, and they offered a communications class, but anyone was welcome on the program. So many of our faculty members hold at least one pre-departure meeting, usually in March or April before you guys depart, and to kind of introduce you to each other, do icebreakers, talk about what to pack, what's the weather going to be like, how much money should you bring, all of that. So you do have an opportunity to maybe interact with some of the students that are on the program before you leave. And sometimes we make Facebook groups or other kind of chats. So then that way you can collaborate and talk and everything. And maybe you say, I want to be roommates with this person, but you don't have to know any on the program, which is a great way to kind of step out of your comfort zone and meet people and lifelong friends. And then I did see the other chat. There was something about
Fees.
Cost
Yeah.
extra. So for study abroad, it is not included in your tuition and fees. It is an extra cost. What is nice about our programs is all of them are pretty much all inclusive for the most part. So your flight, most of your meals, your accommodations, any activities that you're doing that are listed on the itinerary, those are all included. So a lot of times when you're going on the program, the only thing you have to pay for is maybe a snack or a meal that's not included, and anything that you want to do in your free time and souvenirs. With my piece of advice, or my last comment, it kind of goes into this. We promote our programs very far out in advance. So like I mentioned, we already have 2022 programs out there. So that gives you, if you were to sign up today, you have 2 years to pay off a program. And a lot of our companies that we go through or ourselves, we offer payment plans so that students can pay. As an incoming freshman, you guys are at an advantage if you start thinking about study abroad now. If you've never been abroad before, you can start looking at those short-term programs. And then if you go on a short-term program and then you decide, you know what, now I want to go for a semester, we have so much time for you to look and see when is the best time for you to go study abroad. We don't want you to delay your graduation at all for studying abroad. We want you to be able to graduate on time and earn the credits that you need to graduate. So looking at study abroad now, and I mean, we aren't sending students this fall abroad just due to this current situation, but now is the perfect time to begin planning. So start planning now, start looking at those programs, start scheduling appointments with our office to talk about your different options if you're interested in a long-term experience. And we'd be more than happy to do that so that you guys can get the advantage to have a successful study abroad career.
Thank you. Lexi, would you like to share?
I think Katie pretty much touched on all of it. If you'd like to travel, I think you should definitely contact our office, get in touch with us. I'm still a student worker, so you might get in touch with me. But we are taking the correct safety precautions, so don't worry about that. And I think that's all I have to say.
Well, thank you so much to everybody. If we didn't get to your question or you still have any questions that you want us to answer, please reach out to us. Our email is borough-orientation@edinboro.edu. I want to thank everybody for stopping by today, watching this program. Also, thank you to the panelists for sharing their experience. I can speak for them when we say we're looking forward to the fall, to seeing you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your summer. Have a great day. Bye, everyone.
Bye.